Among Netflix original series, there is a work with a very unique position that recorded global box office success while using Korea as its main stage. It is the global teen romance drama XO Kitty. Although the story unfolds strictly with Seoul, the capital of South Korea, as its background, it is an exceptional title planned and produced directly by Netflix's US headquarters rather than a Korean production company. While the phenomenon of Korean culture and landscapes being prominently consumed on global streaming platforms is no longer unfamiliar, it is highly interesting that American Capital and the Hollywood system created a teen drama set in Korea. In particular, the recently released Season 3 is showing off its tremendous box office power by taking first place in the Netflix Global TV Shows category in most countries worldwide, in stark contrast to the lukewarm response in the Korean market. The birth of this interesting series traces back to the Netflix original romance movie To All the Boys I've Loved Before, which formed a massive global fandom. Based on the novel by Korean-American author Jenny Han, which became a New York Times bestseller, this movie series was produced up to 3 installments and was called the Bible of Global Teen Romance. Even in the main film, Korean elements frequently appeared due to the nature of the Korean-American characters, and XO Kitty is a spin-off drama featuring Lara Jean's bubbly youngest sister, Kitty, as the sole protagonist. A short episode in the third movie where Kitty coincidentally meets a boy at Namsan Seoul Tower and falls in love at first sight while her entire family is traveling in Korea became an excellent starting point for this massive spin-off narrative. After the original movie series reached a beautiful conclusion, the grown-up Kitty cannot forget the boy she met at Namsan in the past and puts a significant decision into action. She boards a flight to faraway Korea not simply with the innocent intention of meeting a boy she likes, but with the serious goal of finding her late mother's footsteps at the boarding school she attended in her teenage years. The place where Kitty enrolls all by herself is KISS Korean Independent School of Seoul, a fictional international high school located in Seoul. Set against the backdrop of this glamorous international school, the drama excitingly depicts the chaotic episodes of teenagers from various nationalities and backgrounds. True to the setting of an international high school, many children of the upper class with immense wealth and power appear, adding the spectacular visuals typical of teen dramas. The bold protagonist. Kitty's adjustment to a Korean school from a faraway land is by no means entirely smooth. In particular, her reunion with Dae, the key figure who made Kitty charmingly played by Anna Cathcart, long for him so much that she came all the way to Korea, results in an unexpected crossed path. Because Dae, played with stable acting skills by actor Choi Min-young, never in his wildest dreams imagined that Kitty would suddenly come looking for him at his school in Korea, their relationship becomes complicated right from the start. Contrary to Kitty's expectations of a tender reunion, the complicated situations surrounding Dae at school throw her into confusion. Thrown into an unfamiliar environment, Kitty goes through a process of struggling among academics, friendship, and love, experiencing numerous trials and misunderstandings within the tangled romantic histories of teenagers. The most surprising and distinguishing feature of XO Kitty is the unique atmosphere that comes from the mismatch between the subject of production and the spatial background. While there have been many teen romances independently produced in Asian countries like Japan and Taiwan set against their own cultures, this work is thoroughly Hollywood content completed with the capital and planning power of Netflix US. The process of capturing major landmarks of Seoul, such as Myeongdong, Namsan, and Dongdaemun, in sophisticated colors through Hollywood's camera lenses, provides an exotic and fresh visual pleasure quite different from the familiar scenery of Seoul seen in traditional Korean dramas. This exotic cultural fusion strongly stimulated the curiosity of global viewers, and thanks to its immense popularity, it has firmly established itself as a successful Netflix teen franchise, currently in its 3rd season. Despite being an American teen show produced in the Hollywood system, interestingly, this drama cleverly borrows the emotional lines, plot developments, and the so-called K-romance rules unique to Korean romance dramas. This is a very contrasting move compared to typical American teen dramas, which unfold provocative stories centering on fast physical affection and sexual relationships almost immediately after the characters meet. True to its setting, strictly based in Korea, XO, Kitty shows a slow pace where the male and female leads exchange glances and hover around each other for a long time before confirming their feelings. Even Kitty and Day, who realize their deep affection for each other and essentially share the feelings of lovers as the play progresses, follow the standard of pure and innocent romance, teasing viewers by extremely withholding explicit physical contact or even light kisses. The romance between Kitty and Day, which had taken so long and kept viewers worldwide in suspense, finally reaches a definitive turning point as Season 3 begins in earnest. The scene where the two confirm their firm love for each other after numerous misunderstandings and crossed paths, finally sharing an intense and affectionate kiss, is the core highlight of Season 3 that fans have been waiting for so much. However, the joy of bearing the fruit of a sweet Korean-style romance is short-lived, as the narrative quickly shifts direction back to a cool and unpredictable development typical of Hollywood. Despite having just reached the peak of their relationship by perfectly confirming each other's feelings, the two face a physical separation and parting as summer vacation begins. As Day boards a large cruise ship during the vacation for a part-time job as a manager exclusively caring for performing artists, their newly blossomed relationship enters a new phase and is put to the test. In the episode where Kitty temporarily returns to her hometown in the U.S. for the vacation, a very welcome face that longtime fans of the series had eagerly anticipated makes a surprise appearance, drawing huge cheers. It is the appearance of Lara Jean, the main protagonist of the original films and Kitty's lovely older sister. For fans who were secretly harboring great disappointment at not being able to see Lara Jean on screen even after the successful launch of the XO Kitty series, the two-shot of the sisters reuniting in the U.S., affectionately sharing their concerns and spending time together, provided touching emotion and nostalgia in itself. Having sorted out her complicated feelings and taken time to recharge amidst her sister's warm advice and comfort, Kitty is now in her senior year of high school and returns to the international school in Korea. The setting of the senior year, which will decorate the end of her teenage years, adds a more mature and serious weight to the story that will unfold. Because the main setting of the play is an international school attended by students gathered from all over the world, the dialogue in the drama is naturally set with an overwhelmingly high proportion of English. However, due to the environmental characteristic of being set in Korea and featuring a large number of Korean characters, viewers can have the strange and fresh experience of constantly hearing familiar Korean throughout the episodes, especially when the Korean or Korean-American actors in major roles converse alone. It is directed so that they naturally use Korean. At this point, Korean viewers ironically feel a slight awkwardness. The somewhat clumsy Korean intonations of the diaspora actors, or the rather artificial tone of the dialogue that feels like a literal translation of the nuances of an American script, creates a sense of alienation akin to watching a dubbed foreign film rather than a Korean drama. Nevertheless, even this linguistic imbalance acts as a unique personality of this global show. Because the standards and tastes of Korean viewers for video content are so high and strict, it is never easy for foreign dramas or overseas projects to reach the top of the charts or garner massive attention in the Korean domestic market. Despite being set in Korea, featuring a large number of Korean characters, and following Korean romance grammar, XO, Kitty Season 3 also produced the disappointing result of being thoroughly ignored in the Korean Netflix rankings, failing to even enter the charts. However, regardless of the somewhat disappointing report card in Korea, this work is currently proudly running at the undisputed #1 spot in the Netflix Global TV Shows category, successfully leading a worldwide teen syndrome. Composed of a total of 8 episodes with relatively short running times per episode, it is a charming teen romance drama that anyone can easily and casually binge-watch in their daily lives.